Anticipate, don't improvise. My process is purely logistical, narrowly focused by design. I'm not here to take sides. It's not my place to formulate any opinion. No one who can afford me needs to waste time winning me to some cause. I serve no god or country. I fly no flag. If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a fuck.
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. The Bitcoin video came out just before this video. Here we're going to cover the markets, S&P and NASDAQ, look at some individual stocks, Palantir, Tesla, and also look at the international with the German DAX. Guys, if you want to participate, the Simple FX tournament is live. If you live outside the US, use our link. You're automatically registered. It's also the leaderboard. You can click that link and see how you are faring against the other competitors. Fantastic exchange. You do get a special Market Makers VIP bonus as well. It supports the channel. Let's talk about the ES. First, let's see how greedy you bastards are today. You are at a 63 in greed. Again, maybe temporary top, but the market, the final top, people keep asking me, where are we going to be in the final top? One key indicator will be extreme greed, my friends. Just like the bottom on April 7th was extreme fear at a 4, you will be in extreme greed at a major market top. The pattern I want to focus on, just like I showed you guys in the Bitcoin video, this is the markets video. This is really interesting. I've showed this several times before. July 2023. Actually, on the 27th, we made a key market top in the S&P, retraced 11%. July 2024, on July 16th, key market top, retraced 10.5%. So, will we get a July top before a big retracement that everybody is expecting? To do that, we need to zoom in to last year because this fractal is of keen interest to me. Okay, so let's look at this fractal from July 2024. This is interesting. Where are we right now? Well, when did we bottom, by the way, in July 2024? We bottomed April 19th. Here in 2025, we bottomed April 7th. Then we rallied up. Could we just rally straight up to July? We could, but what did we do here in June? What we're doing right now, we're going sideways. So over here in June 20th, which would be, a little bit more than a week from now, we basically turned sideways. You're not looking for a one-to-one, like to the day. You're looking for key turns in the market, right? So you can see we went sideways in June, and then on July 2nd, 2 days before Independence Day, July 2nd, we broke out to that July top on July 16th. Bitcoin did a very similar thing. It broke out July 5th and then made a key market top there in late July, okay? So we could be doing this exact same fractal, then that big retracement, big as in 10% on the S&P, right? 10.5% in 24, 11% in 2023. But then you get that retracement, and then what comes after that? In this case, it was the next key top. In the case of 2025, it will be our journey to the blow-off top. That's the fractal I'm keen on watching because right here in June, we went sideways. We went sideways, kept retesting the bottom of the range, and then broke out a couple days before the July 4th holiday, made our July top, got our retracement, the pullback. This is when all the big dumb money that missed the rally. Goldman said, most funds missed the rally. Okay, so all the big dumb money that missed the rally is going to buy and we'll be on our way to the blow off top. I believe that's how this could potentially play out. If we look at our cycles here, cover lunar cycles all the time, guys. And keep in mind, I know everybody wants to see something like this, right? Because we have a July 11th full moon potential top coming in here. Also drew it down here at the bottom in case it's a low, meaning maybe we sell off and then it pivots to the upside or something. But this is, again, guys, this doesn't have to be something dramatic like this, like a big retracement level down. If you look at how these form in trend, especially when you're going sideways, this was just like a rolling top, came down to a base, made another top, came back down to a base, and now you're back up again. We're going to zoom in on this pattern, but that's why I have this drawn both ways, because the price action's changing day to day, but it's a steady grind up towards the upside. But any type of retracement may just be in this range that we already formed here in June, looking for that early July breakout to give us our July top before the bigger retracement, right? Let's zoom in on some of these patterns, because here's the key patterns that you have at play right now in the S&P. As you guys know, we had our ABC, which played out beautifully. If you want to learn this pattern, check out marketmakers.trade. Join our Discord. Have my fractal pattern education courses there, guys. Fantastic community. We got to the 1618. We sold off 237 points. And since then, we've been making what's called a 3 rising valleys pattern. You have your low, your higher low, and your higher low. Very bullish pattern. You have a steady line of resistance you keep failing at. For this bullish pattern to trigger, you have to break out above the pattern, okay? So really, this is price-wise, fractal-wise, you're looking at 6,025. But, you know, when you start looking at S&P, especially when you get close to tops or bottoms, look at it in 50-point chunks. Really, you got to see something above 6,050 here on S&P futures to break out to the upside. The target, if you do break out with this very bullish pattern, is 62.25. That means a couple of different things, okay? 62.25. That means, first off, your ABC goes from a 1618 to a 100% expansion. Let me grab this. Your 100% expansion would take you up here. And then when you look at the actual pattern here, right? You look at this actual pattern, your 3 rising valleys pattern with your key resistance. I guess this helps when I zoom in so you guys can actually see it. But we can pull the fib from our fractal high to our fractal low. Look what your 200% does, right on top of 62.25. 1618 is at 61.40, which would be 26 points below a new all-time high. So if you break out above this, again, for this to trigger, you have to break out. And really, you got to break 6,050. You have to break out to come up to that 6,225 in this bullish pattern. If it fails and starts looking like the fractal from 2024, meaning it just, by fails, I don't mean, totally capitulates, but you continue to go sideways, maybe retest some of these lows, and then you look for your breakout there in early July, going up to a late July top, mid-July top, right? That's another possibility of how this could play out. I know people on YouTube are looking for massive retracements. I saw somebody on Bloomberg this morning, an analyst still talking about 4,000 on the S&P. Guys, I'm just telling you, the market cycle will end in a blow-off top, okay? The debate to me is, do we get the breakout now, or are we looking more like the 2024 fractal, in which case we have more chopping to do? But so far, this chopping has highly been contained to the upper end here of the range. And again, 3 rising valleys, very bullish, need to break out, cross 6,050, you're going to 6,225 if that's the case, okay? So that's what you want to watch there for that breakout. You see this on US Tech as well. This is the NASDAQ 100. You have the same 3 rising valleys. And actually, I forgot to show you, but you also have your 5-way. If we go from our gap here, our capitulation gap, meaning, or 2 types of gaps that we care about, one of them being a capitulation gap. You have breakout gaps, capitulation gaps. But if we start a 5-way fractal from the capitulation gap, and then you go down, wave 2, wave 3, again, you see the 3 rising valleys, that matches 5-way fractals. The breakout occurs on the 5th wave, okay? So that 5th wave, 61.40 up to 62.25. If you're going to get the breakout, it's up here while you're pressing up against the ceiling. If it starts rolling down, then it's failed. But that same pattern is here on the NASDAQ 100. 3 rising valleys, your trend line slightly different, slightly higher at 22K. The ABC that we've also been tracking too, that comes up just like it would on the S&P from a 1618 to 200% at 22,304. And if we measure this, right? If we measure this breakout pattern, 3 rising valleys, that is your 200%. Your 200% is right there with the 22,400 and 22,304. 1618 slightly lower at 22,077, which is where you almost are right now. That would take you to the top of the trend line. So again, we want to watch this, because on the 11th, just like on the S&P, just like on Bitcoin, we do have a lunar cycle change. Will that provide a short-term top and keep us chopping going into the July 4th holiday, and then the breakout like we did in 2024. Again, you don't know that you're going to track to the fractal until you're tracking to the fractal. So if we keep going sideways and get somewhat of some type of retracement in the S&P and the NASDAQ going into the holiday, July 4th, guess what I'll be looking at for around July 4th? A breakout to the upside, because again, overall, I want to be long in this market for the blow off top. That's the big move. We can capture this retracement. Fantastic. S&P goes down a couple hundred points. NASDAQ goes down, whatever, 2-3% or something. What would this drop be on the NASDAQ? If we do something like drop from the current high, back down to retest some of these lows, 3%, 700 points, you're looking at about 1,100 points to come down to the deepest fractal here. Is it possible? Sure, but you see how bullish the market is. I think you get 500-600 points, just have this thing chop around to the July 4th basing period if you don't break out before that, and then you lift off. So that's the important trade in my mind. Palantir, guys, you're starting to see it in some of these beta stocks that retail loves to trade. By see it, I mean you're going sideways, right? You're going sideways at key resistance. Palantir, to note it for you guys, was 130, got up to 135, and it's just chopping around. If it continues to do this, what did we do back in 2024? We chopped around in June, going into the holiday of July 4th, then the breakout, right? I wonder if you can see this on Palantir. I haven't looked because Palantir got a lot more euphoric. Let's look at 2024. I mean, look at the price change in Palantir. So this isn't going to be anywhere near as dramatic as it was back then. But here you go. There's your July top actually in Palantir. Let's just zoom in so you guys can see this. Understand whether you're looking at individual stocks. I mean, Palantir is $29 back then. Whether you're looking at individual stocks or you're looking at stocks at the indice level, there's your July 18th top, and there's your retracement. Again, this is what I'm thinking is going to play out, possibly tracking to the 2024 fractal, right? So here's your June 20th top. You came down, you based late June. You see this? Late June, there is your base, June 24th. And then you rode up to the July top, and then you sold back off, and then money got back involved, right? So this was a 28% sell-off, but then look at Palantir. Boom, right? Could see the same thing. The big top everybody's looking for, big dumb money, I mean, the big top for a retracement, a genuine retracement, an 8%, 10% retracement in the S&P, looks like it could form in July, in which case we're going sideways here the rest of June, slight retracement maybe, going sideways, and then making that big move up in July for a good retracement. We'll look at Tesla. Again, this was another trade that we shared, guys. If you follow me on X, or if you watched the videos, you saw this. We were accumulating Tesla down here at the lows. We also had a breakout trade, but I got Tesla down here, 217, 220, got out at the 50% retracement, 63% move, and then Tesla rolled back over with the kerfuffle between the trumpet and Elon. And where'd you fall to, guys? You fell right to your previous fractal trading range. You see that? The sideways range here. This is also the 618 of this rally, right? Bang on, right off the 618, bounced up, bouncing back down. So you want to watch this level, the next key level of Tesla. If it just goes sideways here, if the market does really start turning down a little bit off the highs, the indice level, I mean, you start going sideways, you want to watch this 270. The key level below that's at 257. Right in this level. Okay, this takes you back to the tops, bottoms of some of these candles, tops of some of these candles. And it's also the 72% retracement. So that's the level you want to watch. If you come down that level, I'm really interested in Tesla because overall, again, I believe you're going to be basing and breaking out. And if we track to last year's fractal, look for that breakout to occur coming up with the July 4th holiday, okay? And then Tesla's going to take off, high beta stock. What about the DAX? DAX is the same thing. It's been over and over, guys. 24,414. You're holding it very well on the DAX. 24,414. Again, if everything else starts pulling back a little bit, then look for the DAX to retest some of these levels. 23.7 as deep as 23,382. Depends how deep this basing process wants to go before the DAX takes off as well. And of course, it can always flip it. If it flips 24,414, which I don't think it will do it till July, but your next key level is 26,083. Hope you enjoyed the video. Follow me on X at Market Canary. I'll see you guys on the Thursday update.